Revered Dada J.P. Vaswani, what may I say about him? Whatever I may say will be like using the rays of the sun to give me the light to say something about the sun. Does the life-giving sun really need a formal introduction? Do I really need to tell this august gathering that he is one of the leading spiritual luminaries of India, a practical philosopher, a modern-day saint who has transformed the lives of thousands all over the world? Or should I say the obvious, that he is humility personified, that he is simply love? While we all revere him as our guru, in his characteristic humility, he says, I am the disciple of all, the guru of none. I now invite the man of the millennium, the man with the $1 million smile, the 100-year young saint, Dada Vaswani, to bless us with his words of wisdom.
Friends and fellow devotees of the Lord, Namaskar to everyone. I feel especially grateful to our worthy and noble President. He is a man with a rich creative mind and a compassionate heart and a radiant simplicity. He loves the little one. He knows that the little ones of today will build a new, a better, and a more radiant India of tomorrow. They invited him to come here, and that is why he is here in our midst today. I feel deeply grateful to him. I feel grateful to every one of you. My very dear friend, as I have moved from place to place, as I have traveled from country to country, it has seemed to me that the one urgent, the one piteous need of India and the nations is a new type of education. We need a new type of education. It is education that can mold a man. The type of education that we are giving to students today in the schools and in the colleges is in words. It does not transform the life of the student. My very dear friend, we need this new type of education which may touch the life of the student. Have you asked yourself the question, why is it that people commit crimes? They commit crimes, they are sent to jails, but instead of sending them to jails? Why not send them to an institution where they may learn how to live in the right way? It is life that is needed. We have been teaching them words, brain power has been developed. Science is marching on, technological progress has been made, but the problems that are before India and the nation, they will not be solved by brain. What we need is illumined hearts. Illumined hearts are needed. Therefore, as I said, we need a new type of education. We need to be taught that life is larger than livelihood, that the end of knowledge is not jobs and careers, not silver and gold, but service and sacrifice. Such an education will teach academic subjects and in addition lay emphasis on 5 things. I love to call them the 5 fingers of true education. Firstly, the emphasis should be on character building. Is not character the one urgent and piteous need of India today? There is lack of men and women of character. Secondly, the emphasis is on seva, service of the poor and broken ones. Some of you may have heard of Dr. Brackett. He was discussing with his fiancée his marriage ceremony, which was to take place the next day, when a black woman came and knocked at the door of the doctor's. With tears and deep agony, she said, "My son is very, very sick. Would you kindly come with me to my house?" "Yes, why not?" answered the doctor, picking up his chest. "Don't you feel you shouldn't go now?" said the fiancée. Dr. Brackett said to her, to save a patient's life is my first and foremost duty. Then, said the fiancé, treat the matter as cancelled. Treat the marriage as cancelled. As you wish, said Dr. Brackett. That is your decision. To me, a patient is my God, and I won't betray my God for a marriage. Thirdly, the third emphasis of new education is love for the Indian ideal. Modern scientific knowledge needs to be passed on to the students, but they must be taught to blend it with India's ancient wisdom. In a blend of scientific knowledge and ancient wisdom is the hope of the future. Fourthly, the emphasis is on reverence for all life. Creation is one family, and birds and animals are man's younger brothers and sisters. It is man's duty to share the love of his heart with his younger brothers and sisters and to save them from the cruel knife of the butcher. Fifthly, the emphasis is on the cultivation of the soul. The noblest work, Gurudev Sadhu Vaswani said, is to cultivate the soul. The students should be encouraged to spend some time every day in silence, to grow in the power of meditation, to make God the center of their lives. What can education without God achieve? An American explorer found a cannibal chief eating human flesh. And he said to him, "You have studied in an American university and you still eat human flesh?" "Yes," said the cannibal chief with a smile, "but now I eat it with a fork and a spoon." Education without God can at best touch the surface layer of life. It cannot touch the depths within. It cannot transform man nor enable him to fulfill his divine destiny. There was a time when darkness brooded over Western civilization. India then was strong and vital, much as she suffered through the centuries. Great has been her agony, but India is not defeated. And India will never defeated be as long as our people cling to the vision of our sages who saw that the root of life is God. Turning away from Him, man has wandered from distraction to distraction. Turn back to God. Turn back to God. Love God and love your fellow men. And love is the solution to all the problems which afflict modern civilization. And love is the secret of peace which men and nations alike are seeking. I think I've spoken more than I should have. So let me close my little talk. But before I close, let me pass on to you a small story. A businessman returned from his office in the evening. He had barely settled down in his easy chair and took up his daily newspaper to read when his little boy, barely 3 years old, came and disturbed him again and again. In the newspaper was an advertisement that carried a picture of the world map. To keep the little boy busy, the businessman tore the map into bits and gave it to the little boy and said to him, "Go and set the world map right and bring it to me, and I shall give you a prize." The businessman thought that it would take the boy some hours to set the world map right. But the little boy returned within a matter of a few minutes. The father was amazed. He said, "How come? How did you fix up this map so quickly?" Then it is that the little boy said to him, "Father, behind the world map, there was the face of a child. I set the child right, and the world came out right." How true it is that if you want the world to come out right, you must set the child right. Therefore, give him the right type of education in the school and in the college. It is true that the collapse of education is the collapse of a nation. Our kind president has inaugurated the school. I would request him to bless the school so that out of the school may go forth men and women inspired by great ideals, so that India may once again shine in the light of the new morning sun. I thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you, Revered Dadaji. Thank you for the very timely reminder that life is larger than livelihood, and that while the root of knowledge is reverence, the fruit of knowledge is service. Thank you, Dadaji.